almost time. 60 seconds. Who that? Who that? Bengals fans there are going crazy. Welcome to the jungle. Playing here in Cincinnati. Bengals are going to start with the ball. So Buffalo Bills going to kick it off. Bass on the field getting ready to kick it to number 32 of Cincy. Bills 6 straight wins. Bengals 7 straight wins. Here's the kick. It's up in the air. And it's going to go through the back of the end zone. So they'll start at their 25, 67 completion percentage for Burrow, 7-game win streak, 676 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He'll take the field now. He's going to go in the gun, running back on the right side of him. That's Mixon. A couple options at the bottom, 2 at the top. Dropping back, passing on the left side, has a man past the 50, Chase, and there should be a flag. Yep, number 27 is going to get flagged for PI against Chase. So first play of the game starts off with the first flag of the ball game. Pass interference. Yep, on number 27. It's a spot foul, so they're going to be right around midfield thanks to White of the Buffalo Bills defense. That is not what the doctor ordered. If you're a Buffalo Bills fan. He really grabbed the jersey. Alright, 1st and 10 past the 50. Burrow in the gun. He's the lone man. 3 at the bottom, 2 at the top. Tight end is at the bottom with some wide receivers. Has the snap, looks left and quick to the right side. Passing on the right side to the tight end that I mentioned. Hurst gets a couple. Give him 4, so now you're looking at maybe 2nd and 6. Star watch on the offense, Chase and Higgins. On the defense, Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White, who was just flagged. So there you go. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Burrow in the gun, running back right side. Man in motion to the top is a wide receiver. 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom. Maybe 3 at the top. Hand off to the back. Mixon will pick up the first down. Depending on where it's spotted. You got a Buffalo Bills player that is down on the tackle. We're going to have an injury timeout here. That doesn't look good. He's face down, ass up. Who is that? Number... Is that Taron Johnson that's down and injured for the Bills? He's not moving. He is not moving. He's face down with his palms on the ground. What happened? Here's the... Oh, man. He led with his helmet and the side of his neck. He's not moving. He's face down and he's really not moving. Yeah, that's not good. We're going to go to an injury commercial break. Both staffs are out there. Oh, boy. That is not how the Buffalo Bills wanted to start this ball game. With an injury. Well, with PI, then an injury. That doesn't look good. That does not look good. Still in commercial break. All right. Coming out of commercial break, it's 3rd and 1. Oh, Penn State just won the Rose Bowl. Johnson was able to get up under his own power. That's good. I think someone named O'Neal is going to come in and take his spot. Bengals in the huddle. Perrine, Wilcox, Chase, Higgins, Boyd on the field. Joe Burrow under center. Changing the play under center. He's going to take it himself. He does. Goes up the middle, gets the first down. Needed 1, got 3. First down, Cincinnati. You could tell that might have been originally for Mixon, and he's like, no, I'm going to take it myself. That was his audible there. 1st and 10 for the Bengals. First of 2 teams with same starting O-line combo for first 15 games of the season. The other team to do it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Burrow in the gun at the 35 of the Buffalo Bills, running back left side. Couple options at the bottom and 2 at the top. Looks like you got 2 wide receivers at the top. Burrow with the snap, passing up the center. Has the tight end. He leapfrogs past the 15. First down, Cincinnati Bengals, and he is all fired up. The fans there are going to come alive. Check the replay. Look at this. Running down the center, completely open is Hurst, and then he leapfrogs over a defender. Gets dragged down by his leg, but still, it's a big first down inside the 20 of Buffalo Bills. Look at this. Bang! Right over Poyer. What's up, Travis? Should be a good game. Oh, definitely. So they're actually at the 14. Burrow in the gun, running back left side. 2 options on each side of the ball. Dropping back. Pass up the center. End zone. Has a man. Touchdown. Who is that? Boyd. Touchdown, Boyd. No flags. If you have Burrow and Boyd in your fantasy lineup, you are a happy camper. 14-yard TD reception for Tyler Boyd, number 83, and the fans there go wild for it. He's going to jump into the stands with Chase, and the fans there are going to celebrate with them in the end zone. Oh, behind the end zone. Bengals starting strong. That's about as strong as a first possession as you can get early on in a game in prime time on Monday. Scoring drive, 5 plays, 75 yards, 2 minutes and 26 seconds is all it took. Extra point attempt here for Cincy. It will go right down the middle, and the Bengals will go up 7-0. Commercial break, and then we're going to get our first look at Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills offense. In the meantime, feel free to subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet done so. 7-0 Bengals with 12:34 in the first. Joe Burrow gives a fist pump to his boy. And we're in our next commercial break. Well, that was interesting. The Bengals made that look very, very easy. I'm not surprised. Their offense is firing on all cylinders. Say that 3 times fast. And they're on a 7-game win streak. So don't sleep on them. I will say I think the Vikings got exposed this week. The leap was nice. Yeah, it was. I think the Vikings really got exposed this week. Kirk Cousins showing he's still the anti-science guy. 35th touchdown pass for Joe Burrow. That's the most in franchise history. Broke own record from his last season. So Joe Burrow, being Joe Burrow, yeah, they got exposed. Yeah, the Vikings, really, man, they got wrecked from a team that for a while was struggling. The Green Bay Packers. Fans there coming alive again. Hines will be the returner for Buffalo Bills, number 20. Kicks up in the air. Through the back of the end zone. Buffalo going to start at their own 25. Allen goes in the gun, running back left side. You'll have three options at the top. Diggs is also at the top, one at the bottom. Allen, passing, has a man. There's Diggs. There's the first down. And then an extra 7, and he's pushed out of bounds on the right side, and he's all fired up. First down, no flags. That was a 17-yard pickup for Diggs. Allen in the gun, he'll have protection on both sides. Takes the handoff, passing up center. Missed. Just missed Isaiah McKenzie by 1.5 yards. Second down. Josh Allen, fifth season. Wow. Time flies. 279.1 yards. 173 rushing, most pass rush TD in first 5 seasons in NFL history. Oh, I guess he broke a Dan Marino record last week. Yeah. Thank you, Jake. Hope you guys get a win, too. Allen in the gun, protection on both sides. He's going to take it himself. There's your quarterback draw. He gets tripped up right at the marker, though. Half a yard shy. Third down and 1. He kind of Daniel Jones'd a little bit, although he was tripped up and then he fell over his own 2 feet. Daniel Jones typically just falls over his own 2 feet, but he got tripped up a yard shy of the marker. Otherwise, he would have picked it up. Don't be surprised if he takes it himself again. Third down and 1. Allen under center, extra lineman. Give to the back, he'll get it. And they'll be at the 49 of the Bengals, thanks to Singletary. Allen in the gun, running back right side. There's a flag after the quick throw. Do we have a false start? What is it? Oh, the Buffalo Bills took a timeout before they got the pass off. All right, so wipe that off. Keep it 1st and 10. Timeout here from Buffalo. He went to the sideline and he's mad about something, Josh Allen. Gonna watch Raiders versus Chiefs on Saturday? Yeah, I'll be streaming for that. I will be definitely streaming for that, my friend. They're still my team, you know? Even though they're out of playoffs. They just lost too many, like, one-possession games in the fourth quarter this year. You know? Allen under center, lone man in the backfield is the running back. Two options at the top, two at the bottom. Hand off. No, it's a fake. He's got it. He could take it himself. Go, Josh. And he got tripped up after a gain of 6. But I'm lucky because I'm also a Giants fan, Jake, you know? I don't know how far the Giants will go, but I'm just glad they're in the playoffs, man. It's been 2016. That was like the last time I was in my 20s, you know? Second down and 5. Allen in the gun, running back right side. Looks like Singletary. Somebody jumped early. There's no flag. Pass up the middle. There's the first down to Diggs at the 30. There's no flag. The second first down of this drive for Diggs, I believe. Since he brought the blitz, but no bueno.
And he helps out, puts it on him, and that's just a really good job by this offense, recognizing the blitz, knowing you've got one-on-one, and then taking advantage of it.
Handoff to Cook, little brother of Dalvin. I think he got like 7 there. Under 9 minutes in the first. Yeah, they gave him 7, so it's second down and 3. Buffalo Bills getting deeper here in Bengals territory. They'll go to the huddle now. James Cook, 5.8 yards per rush this season. Blah, 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 blah. Trying to get out of Big Brother's shadow. Bills getting ready to come out of the huddle. You'll have Cook, Knox, Davis, and Shakir. Someone's going to check in eligible. This is going to be a weird play. No, it isn't. He just hands it off with the extra blocker, and Dalvin Cook picks up the first down at the 15. It actually might be at the 14. Another first down for Buffalo Bills. There's some Buffalo Bills fans in the stands.
Well, this offense, they can beat you throwing the football, they can beat you running the ball. Dawson Knox, number 88, tight end. He comes off the ball.
Knox gave a really good block there for Cook that opened up that hole. All right, next play. Here we go, guys. This is crucial. Cook, Gilliam, Knox, Morris, Diggs. Fullback in, Allen under center. Lone man in the backfield. Cook. Cook goes up as a wide receiver. Passing on the left side. Has the fullback for, looks like 8, and he's knocked down out of bounds. Actually, let's say that's a gain of 7. That is decent pickup there for the offense. Bengals defense looks a little confused. Second down and 3. Allen telling, give me the play, let's go. He's like, where's the play? You can tell Allen wants to go fast. 0 touchdowns allowed in first quarter in 9 straight games for the Bengals. That is currently in jeopardy right now. Allen again under center, a couple options at the bottom, a couple at the top. Lone man in the backfield looks like Singletary maybe. Man in motion to the bottom is McKenzie. That play almost got blown up. Allen's just going to chuck it at the feet of Diggs. Third down and 3. Stop the clock at 6:59. Allen pissed. Josh Allen in the red zone this season. 4 interceptions, 4 fumbles, 1 fumble loss. That was against Minnesota. That's the most in the NFL. So he has to clean it up in the red zone. Everything else is virtually great. His red zone, though, clean that up. Singletary, Knox, Beasley, Davis, Diggs. Wait. Cole Beasley is back? Jake, are you still here? Did Cole Beasley unretire? That is Cole Beasley. That's off his hands. Incomplete. Field goal unit comes on. When did Cole Beasley unretire? Someone in the chat. When did Cole Beasley unretire? Was he playing? Was he even playing 2 weeks ago? Because I remember he went to the Bucks for a little bit, and then he was like, fuck this. 25-yard field goal attempt. Field goal is good, 7-3 game. I guess Beasley's out of retirement. Because he was with the Bucks for a little bit, and he was like, nah, I'm not feeling it anymore. I gotta check it on my laptop. Cole Beasley. Because he was on the Bills before he went to the Bucks. During the 2022 offseason, Beasley was given permission to seek trade outside of Buffalo. He was released by the Bills on March 17th, 2022. On September 21st, 2022, Beasley signed with the Tampa Bay Bucks practice squad. On September 24th, Beasley was elevated to active roster for a game against the Packers. Before being demoted back down to the practice squad 2 days later, he was elevated to active roster on October 1st, 2022. On the 5th, he announced his retirement. On December 13th, 2022, that was a couple weeks ago, Beasley came out of retirement and re-signed with the Bills practice squad, and now he's playing tonight. Holy smokes. He set a record for getting the most COVID violation fines in 2020. My man was not having it. I guess he wanted one last run for the playoffs. It makes sense. Didn't Marshawn Lynch do that like twice? He came out of retirement to play in the playoffs. It makes sense. If you're a player that has a little left in the tank but only could give like 4 games, just play in the postseason. So this is apparently Josh Allen's 75th straight start. He got rolled up on his left leg a little bit. I hope he's okay. Apparently he limped his way to the sideline, says Joe Buck. But Joe Buck is very dramatic. I think Allen's fine. Someone tell Joe Buck to take a chill pill. Oh, Witten did it too? I remember he played for my Raiders for a little bit too. Kickoff to the Bengals. They'll advance it from the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. The ball came out. Buffalo Bills pick it up. And the Bills are going to take it to the 31. Was he down by contact, though? Remember, the ground can't cause a fumble. The refs are actually going to review this. That's Lewis that came away with it for the Bills. Let's see the replay. There's Williams in the air, and he's down. Yeah, he's down. His elbow is down. The ground can't cause a fumble. Yeah, refs say down by contact. So at the 31 are the Bengals. Burrow in the gun, running back left side. 3 at the bottom, 1 at the top. Now make it 2 and 2. Tight end in motion to the top. Hand off to the back. Up the middle. I think he got 7. Oh, I see. I see, Jake. Out of the gun is Burrow. Has a man. That's Higgins wide open at the 50. Down around the 48. First down, Cincy. Got a whistle. What happened? Oh, my God. There's a Bills player down and he's not moving. Oh, my God. This guy's face up and he's not moving. Who is this now? That's the second injury to the Buffalo Bills. What's going on? He's trying to raise his arm. The trainers aren't letting him. They're telling everybody to move back. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What's up, Rolex? I saw you pop in. This is not good. They're going to go right to a commercial, yeah. Be right back. Yeah, they have, I would like the food commercials, you and me both. I was saying, there's way too many injuries to the starters this first quarter, man. Two really crucial starters for this team. Not good. I don't know what's going on with this Bills team. I really like food commercials too, but oh my God, he's still not moving. They're bringing out the stretcher. That's DeMar Hamlin. The coach is on a knee. He's teary-eyed. Oh boy. Guys, this is going to be a bad injury. This is going to be, if you guys are watching, you see what I'm seeing, Jake and David. This is, oh my God. Let me see the replay here. Hit in the face, hit his head on the side. That is a concussion. Look, he gets up and then watch this, watch this. Oh my God, he fainted back. That's a concussion. That is the one of the worst concussions I've seen. Other than the Tua concussion this season, they're gonna go right back to another commercial. They're trying to get the guy on the stretcher. Other than the Tua concussion, that right there is the worst head injury I've ever seen watching American football. I've seen some bad ones. I've seen the Antonio Brown one. I remember Savage, a backup quarterback for the Houston Texans, he got hit and had a mini seizure in the end zone. That's pretty bad. It's not as bad as the Tua concussion, but that's up there. He went up, and his body just said, nope, you're going back down. The delayed reaction. That guy's season is definitely done. A bad concussion like that, a team would be smart to not have you do anything for a month. And that's what, I'm not a doctor, that's just what I'm chalking it up to be, because the only thing that I saw hit was the side of his head. And he came up and he was like, and then boom, went right back down. And the fact that they're having a hard time getting him on the stretcher, he's got a head injury. And they're going to take all the precautions just in case there's something there with the neck. The trainers, they're going to take their time. And I'm not complaining. Take your time. It's a young kid. Hopefully he can come back from this. That's two really bad injuries here We haven't even gotten through one quarter for the Buffalo Bills, and they got the ambulance now on the field. If you're not watching, I'm just going to tell you, they got the ambulance at midfield. I wonder if it's not just a hand injury, if something happened to his neck. Josh Allen is crying on the sidelines. This is not good. There's players crying. He must not be. Is he not breathing? All right, so they're showing the Buffalo Bills sideline. All of the guys are crying. What is going on?
There's nothing to say right now. We'll take another break and come back.
They're going to cut away again. I can't see what's happening. I see a lot of players and an ambulance on the field. And Joe Buck just said there's nothing to say. Okay, they're going to go to another commercial. This is not good. That kid's in serious duress right now. If they have the ambulance there and they have medics working on him at the 50, that means he's not responsive. Oh my God. You know, it just looked like he hit the side of his head, but I'm wondering if it's like Ryan. I'm wondering if he's paralyzed. A player went down and hit the side of his head on the Buffalo Bills team, Andrew, and he's not moving. And they have the ambulance at the 50, and they're just showing the players of the Buffalo Bills crying on the sideline, and they cut away from it. Really sad. It could mess up the rest of his career. Yeah, injuries super early in this game. Wow, what happened? They don't want to zoom in because it's that bad. Somebody got rocked, had a head injury. Fuck, man, prayers for him. Yeah, but he's not moving, David. And if the ambulance is at the 50, I'm probably wrong with it just being a concussion. There's got to be some type of movement issue or breathing issue. If they got the medics involved now, yes, you have to be precautionary, but if they bring the ambulance to the 50, that means they got people working on you. And the ambulance hasn't moved, which means the medics are there working on him. This is going to shape up to be one of the worst injuries I've seen. Could be paralyzed plus a concussion. There's definitely a body movement issue. Because if they couldn't get him on the stretcher and they're bringing the ambulance onto the field at around the 50 where he was, and we cut away 3 commercials and we're still in commercial now, there's something happening. This kid is really messed up right now. I'm hoping it's not like Ryan Shazier, whatever his name was, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, where his legs ended up being paralyzed. I didn't see a whole lot there. When he went down, he hit the side of his head. He came up and then he went back down, but wow. Let's hope we get some good news here. We're still in commercial. They're running commercials. So, what is this? The third commercial break since the injury, and they're packing in commercials on this break? Something's going on. What if it's bad enough to stop the game? It's got to be this bad if we went through 3 commercial breaks. Each time we got back, they're telling Joe Buck we're going back to a commercial, and this commercial break was longer than all the other ones. Oh my God, they're still working on him. Oh my God, I was right there working on him right now.
9 minutes. Hamlin made a hit.
Oh my God. I wonder if he died. God forbid.
We don't know, of course, the extent of
Bro, I see somebody doing CPR. What was that?
field right now. Several players are down on their knees.
What was that? I see somebody doing something.
Praying. You can just see the worried looks on their faces.
Oh my God. This kid might
Joe, we'll pass it on up to you guys.
pass away on the field.
So we're going to take a break. They have been administering CPR.
Oh my God, they are doing CPR to him.
Breaks that we
Courtney, are you awake?
As Lisa said,
No, she's not.
Has been down for over 9 minutes.
He's been down for 9 minutes and they're giving him CPR. Oh, this kid is going to die.
Everybody
Oh my God, this kid's going to die.
hoping for the best.
Somebody just died. On the Buffalo Bills. Oh, they went back to a commercial. Oh my God, he's gonna die. He's been unresponsive for 9 minutes. He went down on a tackle, hit the side of his head, and they're at the 50 giving him chest compressions for almost 10 minutes now. This is the fourth commercial break. I wonder if they stopped the game. It was one of the secondary players in the secondary of the defense. They're giving him. They showed it real quick. They're giving him CPR. If you've not responded after 10 minutes, bro, that's not good. Because when my dad died, they gave him CPR for around that time, and he was brain dead from the lack of oxygen.
I mean, I don't know why they're giving CPR. They don't have a.
They can't move him. They can't move him right now. He's not. It's their protocol.
It doesn't matter. They have an AED that's transportable. You can bring it to them.
I don't know what their protocol is, but they're giving him CPR at the 50. If oxygen is not getting to the brain, he's in big trouble. That's exactly what I just said. That was why we had to make the decision to take my dad off life support. He was brain dead. So if you're not getting oxygen to your brain for almost 10 minutes, this kid's gonna die.
No, it'll be alright.
Will it be alright? I hope that if this kid dies, they better just reschedule this game. We're still in commercial break now, which means they're still working on this kid. It didn't even seem like a whole lot. He went down and hit the side of his head. He stood back up and then went. Oh, look. Hold on. Here we go.
Players now for both teams are so tight around DeMar Hamlin. It's tough to get.
That's DeMar Hamlin. They're still working on him.
In there. Maybe that's for the best, but they have him on a backboard. I am told.
All right, they got him on a backboard. Is he breathing? I guess they got him awake. Wow. They got him on a backboard. Everybody just started clapping. I think they're loading him in the ambulance. They must have brought him back.
We'll send it away from here.
Prayers for this man, yeah.
Or they're just taking him to the hospital. They can't do anything on the field.
They've been doing CPR for over 9 minutes on the field.
Okay, Joe. We're
Chest
about
compressions.
to
They
see
showed it
this
real quick.
Emotional scene play out in Cincinnati from here in our New York studios. DeMar Hamlin, a Pitt grad, 24 years
DeMar
old,
Hamlin. Prayers for this man, yes.
CPR down, obviously, for an extended period of time.
Reminds me of when
Just to
Eric Grant
watch
got hurt.
the emotion in the players' faces.
Look at these announcers. Even the announcers are
It's
crying.
really just terrifying that he was up,
Rightfully so. This
collapsing
is.
around, and it's one of those things. The hit doesn't look bad, but boy, I mean, often.
Yeah, that hit didn't look like it
often
would be
that's
like
how it
something
is.
that would cause that to
It's not
happen, but that is.
necessarily about a big hit. It's about the type of hit.
It must have been really bad on the side of his head.
We play a violent game, and
That's what happened to Eric.
you just hate to see it. That's
Doesn't
all.
take a hard hit,
I
just
pray
a
for him, man.
well-placed
Pray for his
hit.
family right now.
They said they got him on the board, but they never said if he was like breathing or talking or moving.
When a teammate is down, and then the game is expected to resume.
Yeah, I don't know how these two teams are going to play this game with an injury like that.
I've never been in that situation.
I've been watching football my whole life. I've seen some bad things.
About that right now.
Wow, everyone's crying. My gosh, yeah, this is
all concerned,
Eliza. This is crazy.
because their team
Eliza, are
is
you new
bigger
here?
than whatever's going to happen
Oh
at
man.
some point tonight on the field.
I don't know. When Eric was hurt, they carted him off and then they continued the game.
Did they give him CPR for over 9 minutes? Chest compressions?
No, he was conscious. He was just paralyzed.
This dude wasn't.
He was paralyzed from the neck down.
Oh.
I guess they'll figure it out, but the health and
Still
well-being
is.
of our brother on the field is the most important thing.
We're in the studio of Monday Night Football. They're not showing anything else on the field. They're not showing either team right now. They got Adam Schiff and everybody just talking and filling in fluff right now. So they must still be loading this kid up in the back of the ambulance and trying to make sure he's got vitals and he's stable. This is
There's prayers all across the NFL community.
horrible.
Everybody's thinking of DeMar Hamlin right now. And that's all we can do is hope and pray that he was.
My goodness, this is horrible.
Chilling and scary to watch the entire situation unfold on the field.
Look at Adam Schiff. He's about to break down.
And everybody praying this young man is going to be okay.
Yeah, let's hope this kid's all right. He's a young man, man. Like,
we come together to play this game and to compete.
wow.
Like the only rule we have, like we want to walk off and go home to our families after the game, man. And to see these young men there, man, that's tough.
That is one of the. You know what? I changed my opinion. This is worse than the Tua injury.
Gather themselves to be able to resume.
This is much worse than what happened to Tua.
Hamlin was given oxygen as he was being loaded in the ambulance.
So as they loaded him in the ambulance, they gave him oxygen. I'm no doctor, but if they're giving you oxygen and loading you, that means you have a pulse. It may not be strong, and your body needs oxygen
We'll be back from Cincinnati
because it's lacking the ability to produce enough oxygen on its own. The ambulance has left the field. I'm guessing they're going to take him to the best local hospital. Wow. Wow, man. Wow. When they said he did the hit and then got up and fell to his knees, I was like, oh my gosh, that's not good. Yeah, he didn't even really fall to his knees. He stood up straight, and then he did this, and then went back, and then didn't move. Similar to his teammate who got injured earlier, but he was face down, his teammate. This is the definitely, and at least in modern day, at least within the last, 3 years, because that injury for the Pittsburgh player, Ryan Shazier, when he was paralyzed from the waist down, that was pretty bad. But and that was, 2017? In the last 3 years, other than the Tua hit this year, which that was bad as well, last 2 or 3 years, this is the worst injury in a football game I think I've ever seen. I'm trying to think if I've ever saw anything worse. I mean, I remember back in the day, didn't Theismann break his leg really bad, and Alex Smith had that leg injury. But none of those guys needed chest compression, CPR, and oxygen. This is really bad. This kid may never play again. This kid may never play football again. Coming back to the game, the field is clear. Let's hear what Joe Buck says. Come on, give us good news.
Damar Hamlin fell at 8:55:03. Was on his back and it went from.
Give us good news, man. Give us good news.
To
the Bills are in a prayer circle right now.
To then frantically administer CPR.
Yeah, after a couple of minutes, you start to be. That's how my dad died, Eliza. I know you're new here.
And this is a Bills team.
After a couple of minutes, your chances of not being brain dead go down and down.
Prayer for Damar. They're going to try to continue to play this game. Sean Smith has gone over to each head coach. The two head coaches you can see got together, and they'll have 5 minutes to warm up. And Troy, played this game for the.
It's all right. It was a long time ago. I went through a lot of therapy, and I live my life for my dad now, Eliza. But thank you. So they're gonna have a 5-minute pause for them to re-warm up.
Really?
That's all. They didn't tell me anything.
Want to play football.
They're not telling me anything about the kid's health.
To go out there and play this game.
Well, the game
Thank you, David.
Secondary, there's no doubt, and everybody's thoughts now and throughout the rest.
So
of
we have a 5-minute recess because each team is going to give an opportunity to warm up.
In all of the players' faces.
Refs are they're starting to talk to Dermott, whatever the head coach name is for the Bills. Josh Allen looks like he's not even going to be able to focus.
No one's been through this. I've never seen anything like it either.
Can they call the game and reschedule it for another day this week?
As an official, you and I were talking during the break. This is uncharted water really for everyone.
Yeah, Eliza, if you're ever around, I don't know if you're a football fan, but I do play-by-play for all the major sports. Hopefully, I'll see you again, Eliza. Thanks for popping in. The coaches are going to meet at the Buffalo Bills side of the field. Let's see what they say.
Taylor's now walking across the field to Sean McDermott as these two head coaches are going to get together again.
Thank you, Eliza.
Send it down to Lisa.
Hey guys, just
I'm sorry to hear that, Jake.
down here on the Bills.
So the coaches and the refs are going to talk and see if they want to.
Taken away by England.
continue this game.
Players just came to their sideline.
I got a funny feeling they might just call it.
Some players just sat staring.
Bill Dermott is shaking his head no. I think they're going to call it.
Other guys were openly weeping. At one point, Stephon Diggs.
They could reschedule this for another day this week. They could do something on Wednesday, can't they?
Gather around him. I could hear him trying to fire the team up, but after that was over again, players.
Stephon
back to
Diggs
the bench
gathered around the offense and tried to fire them up and say we need to play for him.
and openly crying.
So
Yeah, Lisa, as we said,
I don't know. We got a lot of defensive players crying right now. This is,
That's the word we get from the league.
man, if I'm the head coach, I don't want my guys going back out there. I think there's just too much.
Really warming up. Everybody's just stagnant. And it looks like Sean McDermott, after talking to Zach Taylor, is going to pull his team off the field.
All right, they're calling it.
Just talked with New York.
The game is being temporarily suspended. He's telling his guys to go to the locker room.
They want to give both teams, coaches, personnel, an opportunity to go back into the locker room,
So
regroup themselves, and so the game has temporarily been suspended.
it's temporarily suspended. So I guess
Teams are driving it.
my guess is you'll get a quarter.
You know, this
You'll get whatever halftime
I think in these two head coaches
is, whether it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
from their team as to how much they want to go back out there and continue.
I don't know what the rule is, man. I wish I could give you guys in my chat. There's 80 of.
Go back in.
I wish I could give you more information. I don't know how long they're allowed to
You have a chance to
do this.
talk. Crowd here's been great, by the way, throughout this. They don't know what's going on. And now these players are going back.
Can you request a 15-minute break?
I assume they'll have
Can you request a half-hour break? I don't know the rules.
Go back out there and play this game tonight.
It's been 23 minutes since
I don't know. Is that-
DeMar Hamlin injury. Bills versus Bengals game temporarily suspended.
I can't imagine going in and being able to
So due to an injury, what's the...
regain any type of composure to where you can come out and expect to play in a competitive football game.
I'm not sure anything's off the table. I think at this
The
point,
Bills team are not in the mental state to play. No, they're not. This is absolutely nuts. So sad. What a horrible injury. The thing that could change that, though, is if they get an update from the hospital that the kid's okay, or at least talking and moving and alive, then I think they'll go out there and play.
Step aside.
But they need to get the news first that their teammate is alive and with
Susie
us.
Colbert.
If they don't get that update, or if this kid passes, I don't see the Buffalo Bills being able to play. You have too much on your mind. It's very similar. I know it's a totally different thing, but when Owen Hart died in the WWF, when he fell from the ceiling, and they decided to go on and they had the show, they did the rest of the wrestling pay-per-view, but the guys out there really didn't want to be there. They kind of phoned it in. They weren't performing their best.
And what they want
You know,
we really don't know. If those players say, we can't move forward until we know how our teammate is, I'm not sure what.
yeah, Susie, whatever her name is, just said
Their teammate was just giving some
they're not going to be able to, probably not going to be able to move forward until they get a status of how their teammate is.
Is he okay? What's going on?
If they find out dude's okay, they'll go out there and they'll be smash mouth. If they get horrific news,
I want to hear about how my teammate is doing. Is he okay? I need to hear that before I can talk about anything.
yeah, the announcers are saying everything that I just said. They need to know dude's okay before they do anything. If they could get an update from the hospital that he's awake, alive, and with us, it'd be great if they could get an update and the dude's talking and he's moving his arms or something, but all my years in watching football, I've never seen this before. I've been watching football since 1992.
We've never seen that in an NFL game. We've never seen an ambulance come on.
I've never seen this, and Adam Scheffler saying we've never seen this either. This has never happened before? A player's never been this badly injured?
It's very hard for everybody.
Adam Schaefer, look, he's all choked up. Postpone it Friday. Postpone it till Friday, then move to Monday Patriots. I mean, look, you can put it on Thursday. There's no Thursday night football anymore. You can put it on Wednesday. It just depends on, if this kid passes, the Buffalo Bills aren't going to be able to play anytime soon. If he's with us and talking, they might be able to play later tonight. You just got to get that update on what's happening to your teammate. There's a lot of people up there that are upset. This is a good team. This is a family. These players are all very tight with each other, just like other teams. But like that's your guy out there. That's your brother. And oh man, this is tough. I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna stay here with you guys. If it does get canceled, then I'll sign off. But I'll stay here through this whole postponement. I'll stay here all night if I have to.
You're trying to help someone breathe. We're talking life or death now. That's totally different.
Yeah, Booger's bringing up how they had to give this guy CPR. And he stated the obvious. You're doing that to help somebody breathe who's not breathing on their own anymore. And I mentioned it a couple minutes ago in the stream. When my dad died, somehow they brought him back, but he had already not been breathing for so long that his brain was deprived of oxygen and he was brain dead. There was no more dad in there. He was gone. We had to pull the plug. So the only update they gave me on him was that they put him on the backboard. I guess they got him on the stretcher. Obviously, they put him in the ambulance and he had an oxygen mask on, which means they were giving him supplemental oxygen.
Given oxygen, taken by ambulance. Nothing else really matters now.
This is crazy. Seen it with college basketball. Oh, okay, Charles. Oh. I wasn't sure if there was ever another injury similar to that in any sport. We are going to go to another commercial break. I think. Yes, we are. Prairie doesn't, but if he passes, I agree they won't come back out. Yeah, if this guy is not going to wake up anytime soon, or if he passes, this game is gonna have to be rescheduled. I don't know what day of the week they would reschedule it. Probably not tomorrow. My guess it would have to be. I don't know if the guy passes. How soon can his players go out there and play? They need to mourn. They need therapy. It's the end of the season right now, so you can't have a makeup week. This is tough. I remember when Kobe died, the Lakers postponed, for like a week? A full week went by, right? Before they played the Trailblazers. Oh, man, this is, The thing that I'm harping on is they never told me he woke up, moved his limbs, or were talking. They just said they loaded him up in the back of the ambulance after giving him chest compressions and CPR for over 9 minutes. And he had been given oxygen. He had an oxygen mask on his face. Which leads me to believe, if I'm comparing it to what happened to my own relative, he has a pulse. His pulse is faint. And they gave him oxygen because he's not able to fully do it on his own, or he's not able to do it on his own at all. That is just my guess. I hope I'm 100% wrong for this kid and his loved one and his families, but boy, oh boy. And it was crazy because that hit that he made and went down, it didn't look anything like, oh my God, Oh boy. This is another long commercial break, so we're not going to get any updates anytime soon, I guess. It's bad. It's bad. I want to hear update like he woke up or he moved his limbs or he said something. But I don't know. Let's see. I think we're coming out of commercial. Nope, now the commercial. They're running a lot of commercials, which means they don't have any new update to give us, which is not good. Unknown girl, thanks for popping in. I haven't seen you in so long. Happy holidays. I hope you're doing well. I gotta hit up Keith one day and have him come hang out. All right, we're coming out of commercial now. It looks like. Let's see.
The emotion tonight that we're all experiencing is it's really hard to describe as we pray for Bill's safety, DeMar Hamlin. We cannot and we will not speculate. All we do know is that he needed CPR. He was
CPR.
given CPR on the
Okay,
field,
we knew that.
and that in itself is terrifying.
It's something like we've never seen before. I've never seen that.
Booger, again, he's just reiterating he's never seen anything like this before in football, and neither have I.
Yeah, you hate to keep repeating the same thing, but all you can do is pray for this young man right now. Anytime you bring CPR into effect, hopefully they've gotten word. I'm sure he has family out there. I don't know if they're at the game or not. Hopefully the Bills and the doctors are communicating with the family. I can only imagine what my family would want to know. They would want like updates of what's going on, and like just to make sure that in real time they're being updated. That's somebody's son, that's somebody's brother, somebody's father. Like they want to know what's going on.
It's chilling to watch it. And in the day and age that we live in, you can just see on social media every single team, every single player, every single person offering up their prayers for DeMar Hamlin right now. The players are sent to the locker room, and the game doesn't matter. The game is so secondary to everything else. No one cares about the game right now. Everybody cares about this young man, his family, and finding out how he's doing, which is all that is on anybody's mind right now. And it's just one of those moments that is chilling. There's no other way to say
It's
it.
7-3,
Chilling,
but there was a bad
it's
injury, and the
heartbreaking.
game has been suspended for a
And
while, Adam.
Everybody,
Somebody's
the
in
football
bad
world,
condition.
the sports world, and I think the world at large, everybody's thinking about this young man and pulling for him right now.
The head coaches met and they talked and they each took their respective teams into the locker room so they can
Oh,
be
man.
together as family.
He has a pulse but
Gather
cannot breathe on his own.
And I would imagine
That's not
figure
good.
out what they want to do moving forward. Right? Feels
He
like
has
an
a pulse but
unprecedented
cannot breathe on his
situation.
own, which means
I don't think anybody can say what they want to do until we know how DeMar Hamlin's doing.
that's how my dad
I
died,
think we
and
make any rational decision until we have an update on his condition and how he's doing.
And the longer.
oh,
we
Courtney was
live,
right. So they did give him an
the longer
AED. So he must have
his
got
health
AED
his
and
well-being,
CPR.
And let's face it, his life is in question. The further away from football we get, and if
This
we're gonna
guy,
get so away from
I
football,
don't think
then,
he's gonna make it.
Listen, we have people in charge in our league, in the National Football League, Players Union. They're talking, I'm sure, right now, about how to make these decisions. What
That
decisions
I
need to
mean,
be
this
made.
is identical to the
Let's hope they make
steps
the right decisions.
And,
to my
let's
father's death.
candidly say
Pulse but can't breathe on your own, which
this is what we do
your brain is.
as a living to sit here and have to discuss
Yeah,
this.
I'm not gonna say too much
talk
more
about
because
it.
it's reminding me of my dad.
Is
I'll give you the updates as it comes on, but
all we
my
want,
estimate
just
is that this is
everyone in this world is.
it is gonna be really dark.
Hamlin is going to
I don't think we're gonna get any more football for tonight.
That's it. We'll be back.
Another commercial break. Man, that was hard to watch. Yeah, it's making me relive shit from my past. Thanks for popping in, Hugo. Man. This is not good.
Yeah.
They're talking about it on CNN.
From a hit like that, Anderson.
Bill safety DeMar Hamlin given CPR after collapsing on the field.
His head didn't even look like it got jostled.
Good to see you, Hugo.
Um,
I gotta hit up Keith
so
this
I
week,
can't
man.
assume
Or
what
next
type
week.
of injury this might be. I'm worked up right now. I feel a lot of flashbacks. You know, I had multiple concussions in my 9 years in the NFL where I didn't remember.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets any later, if they don't get an update in the next 45 minutes, they should postpone it, regardless of the news.
I was on the field 2 other times when other players were seriously hurt. One time when I was in college playing for Stanford, we were playing against the Washington.
This is bad. I don't think this kid's gonna come through.
It's 100,000 troops and all the military equipment, and you're chronicling all of this.
It looks like just CNN is talking about it right now.
And like that person's name. Create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for.
I mean, the only thing that I could think of is if somehow this kid pulls through and he's alive and awake, that will refire up his team to go out there and get a W for him. But if he's not breathing on his own, if he's not awake at this point,
if you can stay with us, I just want to bring in our Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Sanjay,
I want to hear what Sanjay Gupta is going to say on CNN because he's a neurological doctor.
Another camera that shows.
So let's see what I'll tell you what he says.
Standing up.
That's 3 years older than myself. Hugo, I thought you were 24 yourself.
And just collapses, just collapses onto the ground.
You know, the hit wasn't even that bad though, Adam. I mean, all hits are bad, right? But he just dinked the side of his head. There it is right there. He just dinked it, and then he gets up and then watch. So there he goes. Bink. He got hit his helmet, stands up, and then drops.
That's
Boom. You know what? He took a shot to the jaw, too.
not what any of us want to see in there.
He took a shot to around the jaw region, and then he stood up. Now watch. Standing down.
So we'll take another break.
So,
Here
Sanjay, what do you make of this?
Well, it's horrifying to watch, obviously. I mean, or just the hospital, everyone's talking about this.
Yes, prayers, junkyard. I don't think this is going to have a good outcome, though. I have a little experience with something similar happened to my dad, and he didn't make it. And this young man.
We left you just by way of a summary.
Hold on, here we go.
This is at 8:59.
8:59 was the injury. Are they going to give me an
The
update?
ambulance was on the field to take DeMar Hamlin away. He went down at 8:55:03. The athletic trainers immediately came out and were all around him. And when they first tried to get him into the ambulance, they had to place him back down on the ground, and that's when the CPR.
So they were originally placing him into the ambulance, and then he flatlined. And that's when they started doing the AED and CPR, because when they were loading him the first time,
and with good reason, especially down on the field. And
he lost the pulse.
then when we got
Then they got it back
within 5
and put
minutes,
oxygen on him, loaded him up, and took him to the hospital.
Football again. We saw Zach Taylor live walk across the field to Sean McDermott. They talked for a
Heart
moment.
attack?
The two
Why would it?
teams
I don't think it would be a
went
heart
into the
attack.
locker rooms, and we are told
He got
that
hit.
If there is any postponement of the game, that will come from New York, from Commissioner Goodell after speaking with these two teams. And like they've been saying back at the desk, Troy, and
So Roger Goodell would make the final choice after speaking to the coaches whether or not to postpone.
We're getting further and further away from talking about football. And you know that these players, everybody.
He could have gone into cardiac arrest because of the hit and the impact on the brain. That's a good point. He could have had something neurological happen to the brain. Stop sending messages to the rest of his body,
I would
maybe.
agree with that. I don't think the players are going
I don't
to
know.
want to or be willing to go out and take the field until they know that he's okay.
I don't think we're going to get any football.
you said it. They were
The fact that we're
administering
not getting an
CPR
update right now
for many, many
leads me
minutes.
to believe that they're
Buffalo
still
Bills
working on this kid.
players were surrounding him, watching it all. I just, as a player and as someone who has teammates and the things that you go through throughout the course of a season. And
Man,
in
that
some
sucks.
instances, in most instances, these players' teammates are
Man, this year,
some of their own family.
the amount of head injuries,
There's a lot to
the
it.
NFL dropping the
And
ball,
people just watching
no
the
pun
game
intended,
don't necessarily
on Tua
understand.
and
I
his
just
multiple
don't know
concussions. What the fuck
how
is he going to be
these
like in
players
60 years from
come
now?
out and play football.
From all the trauma his brain's taken.
Check in with Lisa.
All right, checking in with Lisa. Here we go.
Well, guys, I can only tell you what I'm able to see and hear back here by the Bills locker room. All of the game officials just came back here. Sean McDermott came out of the locker room, met with the game officials for about 2 minutes. McDermott just went back into.
McDermott came out and met with the officials for 2 minutes.
But obviously, I have no idea what was discussed. I can just tell you what's been taking place back here.
She doesn't know, the sideline reporter doesn't know what was said, but he met with the officials for 2 minutes and they discussed something.
Left the stadium at 9:25.
Head coach
Eastern
of the
Hamlin's
Bills.
Family came down from the stands to be with him in the ambulance. Per Bills reporter Elena Getzenberg.
Yeah, I don't care about the game anymore either. I care about this young man and his family because my dad died a similar way. So I feel for this kid's family right now.
With what just transpired on this field here in Cincinnati. We'll come back with any updates as soon as we get them.
Commercial. I'll go back to CNN and see what they're saying if they got anything.
It's moments like this where we realize just how violent the game is, just how precious our bodies, our health are. Prayers for DeMar Hamlin.
So, for everybody that popped in, the story we got was he took a hit, fell back and went down. They attempted to load him into the ambulance, who's like pretty much in, and then they had to take him out to do AED and CPR on the field for longer than 9 minutes. I guess they got a pulse.
I don't want to
They
show the video of him collapsing.
put oxygen on.
We have the video from the other angle of just the
Loaded him in.
Let's play that.
There's another angle of the camera. Let's see. Bink, bink. It's got to be a head injury. He doesn't get hit in the chest or anything.
Tell exactly who that is.
Maybe Hamlin.
You know, he moved a little bit after the hit.
He was iffy. Their only Pro Bowler.
He moved his legs a little bit.
Hamlin's taken a place for the injured Micah Hyde.
And then
Coy, when you get
they cut away.
I mean, we all watch this on television. The game.
It has to be the impact of the hit, Adam. He took a shot and then hit the side of his head going down. So really 2 points of impact. Stood up and then fell back. When he fell back, he did move like his legs, like around the knee region. Almost like if you were like trying to squeeze your knees together. But not quite. Here's the replay again. So, you know, where did the helmet hit? I need to see that one more time. Did he get hit in the upper chest as well, and I'm just not seeing it from this angle?
There are other times where you get hit so hard in the leg.
I don't know, man. I'm no doctor, and
just hit you in the thigh.
The impact didn't look
And there are other times
great, but again, it's not always the impact. It's how and where you get hit.
Until about 3 hours later after the game. So there's all different types of injuries you can get, obviously, and the response.
What happened? I didn't see the play. The defender was trying to make a stop. He took a shot towards the face region up here, came down, hit the side of his head, stood up, fell back down, and they had to give him AED and CPR.
In the moment or for some time until it sort of dissipates, and then all of a sudden that's when you really feel things. I mean, does the adrenaline help you through that initially?
Yeah, I mean, and there's endorphins running through your body, cortisol, all these different hormones are surging through your veins. You've been juiced up on 2 coffees that morning.
You know, it actually doesn't. I don't think it.
You don't realize how hurt you are till the next day when it feels like I just feel like I was in 2 car accidents.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a chest
The
reason,
next day.
a chest
But
injury.
those football players went
It could be a massive blow to the head, and the brain signal that helps you
I don't think that
send messages to your major organs could be damaged. I don't know. I don't want to speculate because I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing on my channel, but
out there and play, and that's what players
at this point, it could be anything.
And as athletes, you're trained to have this next snap mentality.
It's
You're
very
trained.
rare.
I don't think so, but
I can't remember a time.
concussion a possibility with the hit to the head, yeah. But the hit didn't look that bad, and why would he need CPR for 9 minutes due to just a head injury? I wish we could get an update soon. I really want this kid to pull through, but
His family, what's going on with him.
you're still awake?
Okay.
Yeah, I can't sleep.
Am I too loud? I'm sorry.
We'll figure out the football game at some other point in time, but it's time for the NFL, the Players Association, whoever needs.
We
to
have no
whoever
update
it
yet,
is,
boys.
We're done playing football tonight. We're done. Let's move on. We as a network will figure out what to do.
Booger is saying at this point,
You know, Joe and Ford,
the NFL union or whatever should say we're done playing football tonight. I think he's right.
Football right now, all the way around. America right now is concerned about one thing: the health and safety of this young man. And I think
And the fact that we haven't got an update that he's alive, moving, and talking.
Stop speculating. Everybody's tweeting about it. Call the game. Let's, NFL, go ahead and call this game, and let's move on.
Yeah, I like Booger's assessment. I say call it.
Hard to imagine.
You mean they have it
You
yet?
take the players out of the locker room
No.
without knowing about DeMar Hamlin.
Which makes me believe if they haven't called it yet, did the Bills get a positive update and we just didn't get it yet?
As Joe mentioned,
No.
is there.
Cancel the game. The
Mom,
kids'
the way the hospital-
well-being is more worthy than the game of football. Amen. Well, hopefully he responds well to treatment with football.
Just thinking,
Doesn't matter, true. No, I've seen way harder hits, but something happened to him. Definitely, Jake. Definitely.
It is all about this young man and how he's doing, and everybody thinking and praying for every team, every player, every individual, everybody watching Monday Night Football, everybody who tuned in to.
Oh,
see
man, this is
highlight
awful.
game. Nobody cares about that right now. They care about this young man, and
I so desperately want to hear that. A miracle. He's alive and talking.
Thankful that his family is with him.
We're told his family.
There's really not much more we can say.
We got the update that his family is there with him.
We're all joined in prayer together for DeMar Hamlin. And we'll be back.
The hospital let the entire family in. That must be to say goodbye. Try not to be negative, but everything that's happening, every minute that goes by, I lived it with my dad's passing. His family's there by his side. He's not in an operating room. No update that he's talking to said family or moving his limbs. His family's there by his side. He's not in surgery.
It should be used. As Corey is pointing out, this is an unusual situation. You know, young, healthy.
Bill safety. DeMar Hamlin collapses after a hard hit given CPR on the field, and it was for over 9 minutes.
Very accessible
Yeah.
for situations like this.
Hey Sanjay, I want to bring in our friend Wolf Blitzer, who's obviously a huge Buffalo Bills fan. For anybody who doesn't know that, he's a major Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh, Wolf Blitzer's going to come on the
in Buffalo.
CNN here.
I know you were watching the game, Wolf. You must just be in shock.
Yeah, the fans there at Cincinnati have been nothing but respectful to the Buffalo Bills. They're quiet. They're respectful. They're not cheering. They clapped for the Buffalo Bills and gave them a standing O when they went to their side of the stadium for their locker room. And the fans there have been very positive and respectful to the Buffalo Bills. Oh, man, this is just bad.
On the field and then CPR being administered. My heart goes out to DeMar Hamlin and like millions of other people right now. I'm praying for his health and I'm hoping we get a report from the
This is going to be really bad and it's going to be really sad.
I've never seen players crying like they are right now and just trying to come to grips with the awful situation.
The statement doesn't sound good. I thought he'd be rushed to have an operation. Are they still trying to revive? So the last update I really got with his health was that when they loaded him or attempted to load him in the ambulance, flatline, and they had to give him AED and CPR for over 9 minutes. After doing that, they got him on a backboard and put oxygen on him. Loaded him up in the hospital, took him to the hospital, and he's surrounded by family right now.
He was paralyzed after that. And I think you mentioned,
No other update. Last update was a couple of minutes ago, maybe, what was that, 2 minutes ago? Susie Coulter let us know that he's surrounded by his family at the hospital. Which, again, no update that he's talking, moving. And if he's surrounded by family, he's not in an operating room. So, then what? Only 24-year-old, yeah.
I care about every detail of every King Quality Home project and provide our customers with
Every minute that goes by just reminds me of what happened to my dad in 2013. I want to turn ESPN on and hear he's alive and well. Here we go. What are they going to say?
There's simply no precedent for this, so we do not know what the next step will be. There are very few details.
Very few details, says Joe Buck. We don't have a status update. No status update.
We are told that he was transported to UC Medical Center, which is the only level 1 trauma center in the area. As we've mentioned, his family, in particular his mother, was here in the crowd tonight. She rode with him, evidently. But beyond that, we do not have
level
any
1
more
trauma
detail to pass along.
Level 1 trauma center. His mom was in the
at
stands
the
and she rode in the
It's
ambulance
been
with him.
just over 50 minutes since he hit T. Higgins over the middle of this field, stood up immediately, and then went down. CPR administered by the medical personnel on the field. It was feverish. Players, some were watching, some were turned away. Most were in shock. We saw.
So they said
crying.
family. You know what?
It is
if it's just his mom,
stunning.
His mom could be there, like waiting in a waiting room or something, and he could be getting operated on
The
now.
crowd has been extremely patient. I'm sure with social media.
What do you mean? What if he has something in his head?
Gravity of the situation with DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah, what if he has a fracture in his
We just don't
head?
know what the next step is.
What if he has a brain bleed? Or what if he has swelling in the brain where they have to remove part of your skull?
Hard to fathom.
There's plenty of things that. What?
This game will be pushed to another night this week.
Maybe they did.
But as has been said many times already, who cares?
It's been over an hour.
Hamlin, his health, and how he is at this moment, and what his status
The longer you're on a ventilator, the less chance of waking up.
And we continue
If you've been on, I forgot what the stat is. If you've been on a ventilator for more than 2.5 weeks, you have like a 12.5% chance of survival or some shit.
goes across this country right now.
My dad was on a ventilator for 6 hours and he didn't make it.
So we'll take a break, come back, give up any updates we can.
My buddy Steve went on a ventilator, yeah. He never came off and eventually died. Yep. Steve and my dad, David. Another commercial break, no update. For anybody that just popped in, the last update that they got, they would have to take his helmet off. I thought they did take his helmet off. I thought that was the first thing they did. His mom was there in the stands. She came down. She rode into the ambulance. They took him to the level 1 trauma hospital, the only level 1 trauma hospital in the area, which means he's at the best hospital he could possibly be at for what happened. I don't like how it's been almost an hour and we don't got no update, man.
And the hits are what people love, and people cheer for that, and yet we sometimes forget all the fans in the stadiums over the weekend, college games, pro games. You forget that sometimes as you're screaming, as a fan is screaming, that these are young people, and they're, as you said, they're fragile, they're human beings, and they're wearing lots of padding, but these hits
Give me an update on this kid. Give me something good. Tell me he's awake. ESPN's running a lot of commercials, man. We're not going to get an update, I think. I don't know, boys and lady. Come on, let's get a miracle here. Here we go. Let's see what they say.
Well, we continue from Cincinnati after that break. And just like before the break, there is not much new information. Lisa, can you give us anything more?
Lisa's going to try to give us something. Come on, Lisa.
Stadium?
Yeah, Joe, again, just what I can see, all of the game officials are out here outside of the Bills locker room. One of the officials went into the Bills locker room a few moments ago. He came out with Sean McDermott and gave him a cell phone. Sean McDermott was talking to someone on the phone. Zach Taylor was
So
also
Dermott was on the phone, and then he gave it to Zach Taylor. That's probably Gardell talking to them on the phone. The two head coaches.
The phone was then given to somebody else. The two head coaches exchanged a hug, and now Bills players are coming out of the locker room. They're not headed to the field, not sure where they are going.
The Bills players are leaving. This game is over.
We're really not sure.
When stuff like this happens, it puts what's important in life into perspective. Amen, Frank. Amen.
Bills locker room and Bills players are starting to come out.
Bills players are coming out, but they're not heading towards the field.
Thank you. You can see Sean Smith, our referee for tonight, who is there. But at this point, the officials, this is out of their hands. This belongs to the NFL.
I think the NFL is going to have to call this. It's out of the officials' hands. Both head coaches on the phone. That leads me to believe it. They got to be talking to some official, higher up, president, Roger Goodell, union members. There's got to be. Now there's a lady on the phone. They're shaking hands.
You can see Zach Taylor and Sean McDermott with a handshake.
Oh, boy, this is bad. Postpone it to Friday, my guess. If the kid doesn't die, if the kid dies, the Bills are going to want a lot more time than 4.5 days. But who would they be talking on the phone? It's got to be.
Well, Joe, remember I told you the Bills players were starting to come out of the locker room. Further down the hall, they were met by Bengals players who came from their locker room.
All right, I see Bills players out of uniform.
Handshakes and hugs. Stephon Diggs came out of the Bills locker room in a towel.
Stephon Diggs came out he just showered. They're out of their pads. They're out of cleats. They're not playing football tonight. And
you can see the Bills equipment
staff is packing everything up. That is it, boys. No more football.
We just have no official word, but if you
that is the ball game.
You have to believe that we have seen the last.
They are packing up the equipment on the Buffalo Bills side.
January 2nd.
The refs will come out and make it official, and that'll do it for tonight.
But again, no official word, so we'll just wait on that. But that is an unofficial word.
Yeah, it's an unofficial word, but look, the equipment staff is out there packing everything up and bringing it to the back. Bills players are already showering and out of their pads and gear. My guess is this game is, if we get good news, we'll get this game postponed a couple of days. I don't envision it being tomorrow, but maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. One of those three games if we get good news. If we get bad news, I don't know.
Until then, we go back to Susie.
I don't know. We're going to go back to Susie in the studio.
And, we understand that there's
Good. The kid's life is more important. True that. True that.
discussed. But I think we all wonder why
Prayers to him and his family. Yeah, man.
the status of
I'm going to stay on a couple more minutes, though, until everything's official.
think about the focus it takes to play football.
It's the right call not to continue. And my guess is that because we don't have a positive update yet.
Who attends most every Monday night game. with the league office. And my guess is that the coaches were on the phone with the league office. Speaking to
They're
somebody
out of-
about it. That's my guess. I'm gonna make an assumption there. And so they're being debriefed, and they're describing what they know about DeMar Hamlin right now, and they're making a smart, wise, educated decision not to play this game when all anybody cares about is DeMar Hamlin. You're seeing it unfold right there with both head coaches.
They were saying they were on the phone with a league official.
Executives around them, with Donna Ponte from the league office, with them talking on a phone that I'm guessing was her phone in communication with the people on Park Avenue in New York, so they can make the common sense decision.
And they were on the phone with Park Avenue people in New York to make the call.
How DeMar Hamlin is doing.
And just knowing how the NFL operates, to Adam's point, just to add to it, not only are they canceling the game or postponing, however you look at it, they're probably trying to figure out what we're going to do next, to let the coaches know what to do, how we're going to do it, just because that's how the NFL thinks. I think the rest of America right now is not thinking about that. The rest of America is thinking about this young man, but the NFL that's kind of how they run their business.
Again, let's bring it back to DeMar Hamlin, because he is the focus of everything, and he is the only thing that matters to me.
We haven't got a real update in over an hour.
DeMar Hamlin is the person that matters, and the day and age that we're living in, all you need to do is to see that the entire country is thinking about and praying for this young man, because it is from every person, player, team account right now, prayers up for him all across the country. And everybody is just awaiting and praying for some kind of positive update on DeMar Hamlin.
This 24-year-old young man.
It's not good.
UC Medical Center by ambulance. His mother riding along with him. And the crowd in stunned silence at Newport Stadium. The teams
They're talking about how the crowd is stunned.
waiting some sort of word. And
You know what I just thought? What if he had a minor injury prep before game or early and then
to make a decision.
it made it worse?
As just how to go forward with this evening.
I don't know.
And
I feel like though if you had a life-threatening injury, you would have some kind of symptoms where you wouldn't be able to play
than anything,
almost a full 15 minutes of professional football. Up until that point, he was playing really good.
involving other NFL players.
Praying for him and his family. Me
This
too,
one had
man.
a particularly chilling, jarring, frightening feel to it, and all you had to do was look down to that field, get an idea of what was going on.
Almost instantly a reaction from the players on the
Well, if you guys don't mind, just because I've been here, can you just hit the thumbs up button when you get a chance?
We've never seen anything.
I'm sorry we don't have any football, but this kid's life is the most important thing. Football, sports, touchdowns, tackles, all that is it's all bullshit. Hamlin's
Teammates never had to worry about
life is the most important thing, and the fact that we haven't got a positive update yet.
And I think that's where
Either he's passed or he's fighting for his life
facial
right now.
expressions, the sensitivity from all the teammates from both teams, like I've never seen that before.
You may as roll the stream.
That brings about a whole different.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here a little bit longer.
Have ever been a part of.
I'm hoping within the next 35, 45 minutes I can come on and say we got good news.
It's happened before, but this feels so raw
And then if they reschedule for like
and so chill.
Friday or something, I'll do the game.
People who haven't seen it like this, but it's happened before.
Oh no! I just read on Twitter he has been intubated, which means he's going on a ventilator,
about Damar Hamlin.
which means he's in a coma, which means
Lisa, thank you.
he's brain dead.
We are temporarily suspended, still in this first quarter, and still waiting for any definitive word.
Is it standard procedure?
John?
Joe, we just got it. The league is going to officially suspend play for this evening. And they will get with the teams and they will...
So the game has been officially called.
Find a date.
They're gonna have to find a date to reschedule from this point to the game.
The game is officially suspended. The game will not be played this evening. And
Fans there are already
before
starting to
we
leave.
Tonight, they will try to provide an update on the player.
Later tonight, we'll try to get an update on the players. That's what ESPN said?
Who now over an hour ago went back down to the turf after making the hit on T. Higgins. This is the scene at 8:59 Eastern. The look of shock, utter shock on the faces of the Bills players being consoled by their opponents tonight. There's Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals. The ambulance took Damar Hamlin away. We got word that he went to UC Medical Center, the only level 1 trauma center in the area. As we were talking and saying that the players were being told that they would have 5 minutes to get back ready for play, and the players were standing around, we saw Zach Taylor walk across the field and talk to Sean McDermott. And then moments later, the two teams headed into their locker rooms. Damar Hamlin, 24 years old, 6th-round pick.
Left the stadium at exactly 9:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So we are now over an hour since that transpired.
The injury happened at 8:55 p.m. That's over an hour.
Eastern.
And he's been intubated.
And we have no update on his status, no official update on his status as we talk here, roughly 10 o'clock Eastern.
Stadium's clearing out now.
John Perry just heard the official word that play has been suspended for the rest of the night. And so this game, Cincinnati.
This game's going to have to be rescheduled at some point this week.
Getting a field goal. This will be picked up at another time, a time that at this point is undetermined. We talked about coming in, it seems silly to even talk about the specifics of where these teams are in their divisional races, their battle for the top seed in the AFC. That's what was on the line here tonight, but this was a jarring.
Courtney said she got an update where the intubation is standard for this procedure or this injury or what happened, so hopefully
Carted away in an ambulance. Making the specifics
hopefully this is just stabilizing tactics for this kid, but I don't know.
2022-2023 season seemed irrelevant.
Yeah, Tina says they probably.
Who's Tina?
Christina.
Oh.
So fans are obviously getting the word. I have not heard an announcement on the public address system.
Probably gonna die.
Since we've been back from break. But I think obviously in the world today, news travels fast on phones.
This is
and
fucking sad.
I think people are well aware that.
There's a lot of people there that are chilling. Like, yo, the game is over. You all gotta go home.
Let's check in again with Lisa.
Lisa might have an update.
Hey Joe, just again wanted to underscore just the emotion.
No,
down
she's just
here on the field, particularly on the Bills
underscoring
side.
the emotion.
Unlike anything I'd ever seen before.
Can we get an update on if he's alive, please?
From the
Or
studio that we've seen players
gonna be
improve
okay,
before.
or doctors
We've
have a
seen players
positive
who are
outlook for
concerned
the young
about their
man.
teammates, but this was something completely different. Guys were absolutely devastated. You could see the pain and the anguish on their faces. You could see the concern and the worry. And just to underscore what we've been saying, since this happened, we're all just praying for Damar Hamlin.
Lisa, thank you. We just got the official statement. I'll have that I can read to you.
All right, we got the official statement.
But all of this just depends, in my opinion.
Come on, Joe, give us something. Give us something
which
positive.
isn't worth much at this point on the health and the status of Damar Hamlin going forward with regard to when this game is resumed. Here's the statement. Tonight's Buffalo Bills-Cincinnati Bengals game has been postponed after Buffalo Bills' Damar Hamlin collapsed, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell announced. Hamlin received immediate medical attention on the field by team and independent medical staff and local paramedics. He was then transported to a local hospital where he is in critical condition. Our thoughts are with Damar and the Buffalo Bills. We will provide more information as it becomes available. The NFL has been in constant communication with the NFL Players Association, which is in agreement with postponing this game.
He's in critical condition, obviously.
Public address announcer just did make that announcement and that statement to the crowd and these fans that have been packed in and loud since well before this game, just filing out and doing so in an orderly fashion. This has been a very patient crowd here in Cincinnati. I'm sure with some not knowing the extent of what happened down on that field, but the big piece of that statement is that Damar Hamlin is in a local hospital where he is in critical condition. And that's the update.
Wherever he is, he's at the best hospital in that area, and I'm going to try to give him a fighting chance. But
since he collapsed on the field,
I was hoping we were going to hear something really good, but they have him in critical.
We're going to keep it here for a couple of minutes, and then we will go back and in this case hand it over to Scott Van Pelt. What we have seen here is just it's really hard to put words to it.
No, you can't, and everybody obviously is trying. And the only concern, of course, is Damar Hamlin.
Yeah,
and
I hope so, Joe. I hope that's what happens.
What
But
this looks like going forward, as far as this game and when it might be played, is anybody's.
it was a matter of time before this happened, man. The NFL has had so many bad hits, bad injuries this year. Look at Tua.
Thinking about the mom. She comes to
Tua, they said he had 2 concussions. Bro, that guy definitely had 3 concussions this
Now
year.
he's in critical care, as you mentioned, Troy's mentioned, and there are no words.
You might be right. You might be right, Jake. They can't wake him up.
That collapsed on the field after making a tackle, got up, and then immediately went back down. And he left this stadium by ambulance at 9:25 Eastern. And again, he is at UC Medical Center. And
this is not
if we
good.
get anything before we go off the air, we will pass it on. But our time is running out here tonight on this Monday night.
Honestly, though, but if you commit an illegal hit, even if it's on an accident, you should be ejected from the game immediately and fined.
Better and better about
I know you get fined in the mail, but it's like, yo,
But at this point, all we can do is wait.
they really have to make it like, bro, if you hit somebody illegally, even if it's not on purpose, you need to be penalized more. So when guys are getting ready to make those tackles, make those hits, they're like, okay, I got to make sure.
Postponed
You
officially.
know, there's already enough
National
danger
Football
involved.
League. And we will all be doing a lot of that.
Thank you, Charles. Damn.
Medical personnel, they were there immediately. Looked like for a moment the players were all around him. You could see somebody down on the field.
6 seconds. And that's almost exactly the time frame for Mr. Hamlin to go down again.
So how long would
that
you
can be
need
resuscitated.
Okay, that's where I was going next in terms of what you could do in that moment.
They got a doctor talking about this on CNN.
To be able to pump
Let's
the
see what he
blood
says.
to different arteries and get blood circulated throughout the entire body, let alone to the brain. How long do you have to try to course correct?
The way to resuscitate a person that has this event is you need to defibrillate them with an AED, with an automatic external defibrillator. And until one is provided, until one is
I agree, Hugo.
the NFL
Postponing
stadium,
it is the right thing.
Several of these devices.
This kid's in
There's
critical
almost certainly
condition
one
right now at the
field
local
level
hospital.
of every NFL stadium.
Not breathing on his own,
One would
and
do
he's
CPR.
intubated.
And CPR basically gives you the time to defibrillate a patient. But the clock is ticking. And every minute the chance of resuscitating.
If you have
somebody
CNN, I would say I'm not really a big CNN guy, but they're giving a breakdown of why they did all the things they did on the field. That'll make more sense for you guys. It's on CNN. There's a doctor talking about it.
Reduces the likelihood of survival by about 10%. So time is of the essence. Now you can lengthen that time a bit with effective CPR. But
So they were buying him time by giving him CPR, essentially, to get the defibrillator ready and get him loaded up and getting him to the trauma center.
Bob, I want to bring you back in here. Just hearing from
Wow.
Dr. Reiner and the expertise that he brings, and just watching, as you mentioned when we were speaking earlier, about this wasn't something that people were hearing about this as a helmet-to-helmet contact, what you're accustomed to seeing in terms of the form of a concussion and beyond. The idea of this arrhythmia, this millisecond that would disrupt the electrical impulses and what
So
would happen.
the doctor said something about it.
Do you have a sense
And
of how long DeMar Hamlin was
arrhythmia?
on that field? The doctor's talking about every minute reduces a 10% reduction in one's ability for it to survive.
You know, I don't have an exact timeline, and I wouldn't want to put something out there that was irresponsible. I'd actually begun watching the game casually, and then I turned away from it, and I got a text saying something has happened, and I came back to it. But by that point, he was down on the field. And
maybe in arrhythmia, it was like 9 minutes where he was getting CPR.
Between how long,
Adam,
how much time expired between the administering of CPR and when they might have been able to defibrillate him. But as Dr. Reiner said, every NFL stadium has that medical capacity on hand. So there's little doubt that he was defibrillated. However, we don't know what the outcome of it is, but they have all the necessary
they're just saying how every stadium has all the necessary equipment in an event
different, and we'll just have to see how this one turns
like
out.
this happens to somebody.
Thank you so much more. We're going to stay here on this story. It's so important. And I would note that we knew that the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, had been in contact with the game officials and also the different teams trying to assess what would happen. We do now know they have decided to postpone and stop this game.
Yeah, we know that. We know CNN. We know Roger Goodell called it, which was the right thing.
The medical staff rushed to the field, and both teams are on the field. You realize
Ryan Clark is on. He's literally
and so many times
he's having a
in
breakdown.
this game, and in our job as well, we use the cliche.
Bill safety, DeMar Hamlin, critical condition in the hospital following tackle. Hamlin collapsed on the field in the first quarter of Monday's game versus the Bengals. Yes, he
and
did.
I think sometimes we use those things so much, we forget that part of living this dream is putting your life at risk. And tonight,
He is not even breathing on his own. No, he's not. He's been intubated.
Aside of football, that
in critical condition.
Outside of football, that no one ever wants to see or never wants to admit exists. When you see both teams on the field crying in that way, your first thought is DeMar Hamlin. The second thought is his family. And this isn't about a football player, right? This is about a human. This is about a brother. This is about a son. This is about a friend. This is about someone who is loved.
Bad
by
news,
so many
boys.
that you have to watch go through this. I dealt with this before, and I watched my teammates for days come to my hospital bed and just cry. I had them call me and tell me that they didn't think I was going to make it, and now this team has to deal with that, and they have no answers. And so the next time I think that we get upset at our favorite fantasy player, or we're upset that the guy on our team doesn't make the play, and we're saying he's worthless, and we're saying you get to make all this money, we should remember that these men are putting their lives on the line to live their dream. And tonight, DeMar Hamlin's dream became a nightmare for not only himself, but his family and his entire team.
Yeah, Ryan Clark is
tendency
giving a good breakdown of everything.
world in the space that we occupy,
Can the game be played tomorrow? I don't think so. I think it has to be. There has to be like a 24-hour in between.
Share what you know, and I think that the search for the answers at the moment is
I think it's likely you'll have Thursday, probably Friday
DeMar Hamlin fell to the ground.
football game.
They suspended the game. He was taken by hospital at 9:25 Eastern time to.
We got the timeline. 8:55, the injury occurred. The game was temporarily suspended 9:18. Ambulance left the stadium 9:25. 10:01, game officially postponed for a later date.
As best as she or anyone could the events at the stadium as these determinations were made that this game would be suspended. And Lisa, we've all been lucky.
All right, Jake, have a good night,
To
man.
make this our life.
I'm gonna go to bed in a
something
couple
to
minutes
cover games
myself.
that mean so much. I can't recall an evening quite like
I think
this.
that's
I
Lisa
just wonder first, as a human
Coulter,
being,
whatever her name is, on the
who's
sideline.
documented these
She's
games, how you would describe what this last hour
gonna break
has
something
been.
down for us.
It's hard because, like you guys have said, this is a human being, and all you can really think about is.
Amen,
you know,
Joseph.
I
Amen.
hope that guy is okay. We've seen players go down with head injuries before, and as horrible as that may sound, we've grown accustomed to it. Seeing guys take hard hits, see them stay down.
See if
for
they're
a
saying
little
anything
while,
else on
get back
CNN.
up, give the thumbs up.
No, they're in commercial. Fox News has it on.
People with tremendous efficiency and immediacy, no matter what the problem that could occur on the field is. And so he's getting the best medical
See if my
attention.
local news station has it on.
A 2008 case against Santos in which he allegedly stole someone's checkbook and wrote fraudulent
Fox
checks.
News is running it now too. Surprised they're not
Lawyer said, you know, they don't know what you can and can't recall.
talking
so
about
just say you
Donald
don't
Trump.
recall. So, you know, that could be very much.
They can play on Wednesday.
The brothers,
My guess it's going to
sisters,
be anywhere
they
between
care
Wednesday
for
and
each
Friday.
other. They're in close
I'm
proximity
thinking it's going to be
every
Friday.
single day. Let's go back now to Fox News medical contributor Mark Siegel. Dr. Siegel, we're talking about Damar Hamlin, of course, and you know, it seemed like a routine play. This is a safety for the Buffalo Bills. He's engaged in hits I don't know how many times during a season and a game, but this didn't seem like it was extreme, and yet there are other factors that could come into, and you haven't examined this person, and we haven't been.
Yeah, you're probably right, Andrew.
But we did
I don't
know
know.
that he collapsed, and we did know that he was administered CPR, and that he is in critical condition at the local Cincinnati hospital. So
They
what
could
do you
do
thought?
Friday, and then they could move the Patriots game to a later date the following week. Extend the Buffalo Bills and the Patriots season by a couple of days.
Even if it doesn't look like it, it's transmitted torque to the heart, and most of the time nothing happens. But you could have an underlying tendency.
They're bringing up a point that maybe he had an underlying health condition, like a mild arrhythmia or something that was mild that was aggravated.
And as Jim Gray just said,
But I feel like even if you have like something minute, something that's there but mild,
There, that this was not just another injury.
that they pick up on all that stuff during your phesicals,
Behind that human
during your
body.
MRIs, during
We
your
should
CAT
be
scans,
seeing
during your
them respect that
AKGs,
young man's privacy, and rightfully so.
in your blood.
So that was when I
They do
realized
so much testing.
that this was not
They have
just
so many
another
physicals, and
injury. This was
everything.
something
Every
that
box
was
has to be checked off by an independent physician.
There's so much going on
I mean,
here.
there's so much.
Initially, there was a sense that maybe they take 5 minutes and get loose and play. And as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, there's no possible way that that's going to happen. And it seems to me, Lisa, that it was Taylor and McDermott.
Yeah, I don't know if they were fighting for first place with the Chiefs though.
Said, no, we're not. We're not playing.
The Bills. I don't know
Again, that's, I could
what
be
these last
entirely
couple
wrong,
of
but that
games
was the
meant.
sense
I
got as
think
watched. Was that what you felt was happening?
I don't know.
Well, initially, like you said, it seemed as if the players were just going to take some time and to process this and to try to regroup and refocus. I saw Stephon Diggs. Well, first we saw Sean McDermott call his team together.
Right.
That the Bills all got down on a knee, and we don't know what he said to them, but it appeared as if he was trying to refocus
True.
his team.
Or
And then
can't the league
Stephon
just
Diggs
make it a
did the
tie
same
for
thing,
both?
because
Can they
players
just
were
make it a
just
tie
sitting
for
on the
both
bench
teams
just
if they really wanted to?
completely shell-shocked and devastated, and rightfully so. But all of the team got together on the Bills sideline. Stephon Diggs, I could hear him
I don't know.
rallying the troops. I could hear him encouraging them, telling them that let's go, let's refocus. But then after that, the players just kind of went back to what they were doing before, which was to be emotionally distraught.
Lisa is talking about
They went back to hugging each other.
how
They went
Stephon
back
Diggs
to
fired the
speaking
team up for a couple of
to
minutes,
the
saying,
league.
let's go, let's go.
Some guys had
They all
tears
were
on their faces
receptive,
and
and
they
then
were
once he walked away, they all
sobbing,
were
and
sobbing
took the
again.
towel. So
So
at that point, it started to become clear that this is not something that these players are going to get over. They're not going to be wanting to play another down anytime soon.
Nor should they, frankly, be asked to do so, in my estimation, because I think it's understandable that the way these men are wired in the arena to
You think so,
compete,
Andrew?
Get it. People get injured, and that's an unfortunate part of the game. But this clearly
we don't have any updates other than he's been intubated, huh?
10 years ago, they would not have stopped the game. Dante will tell you, the ambulance would come out, take you off the field, take some smelling salts.
Only update we have is your
mentality. That's what the players have. That's what the coaches have. That's what
he's
the leaders have.
critical condition and intubated. They're talking about this now in all your local news stations, so
if there's something positive that can
if you want to follow along with what I'm seeing, I'm flipping through all the news channels here, the major ones that you get as well.
But it's also that player safety, our personal health, is now more important than it
Yeah, I
used to
think
be.
the right thing for the
And that's
NFL
a
is just call the game a
trickle-down
tie. Yeah.
effect. That's going to be important to the college level. That's going to be specifically.
He has a pulse now, still no breathing. Yeah, no breathing, and he's on.
Where these coaches.
And he's on a. He was intubated. He's on a ventilator. So
And tell them, toughen up.
really, that means the machine is doing the work for him right now. He's not breathing on its own.
Now there's been a paradigm shift in terms of player health and safety and how precious our lives are, and that the game is not worth it in the end when it comes to serious issues like this.
I just got a bad feeling about it.
Hopefully we can get some collective
Based
thoughts
off of
and
things
prayers
that happened
together
in
for
my
Lamar
personal
Hamlin.
life. I've
That-
seen this
that can
once
be
before.
powerful.
It's affected
We
my
saw the
family.
players doing it immediately
So
when they saw how drastic the situation was. He is in critical condition. That was the last word. But we hope that he can make a full and speedy recovery.
I can't help but just sitting here and it's
man.
palpable. You are far from me right now, Coy. Dante, you were close next to me at this table. But it is palpable, the trauma. It is palpable, the emotions. The idea.
If he dies, they might give Buffalo the win.
Just
Yeah, who knows?
You talk about that this game.
I think at the end of the day, they should just make it a tie.
As a younger person, of course, watching.
It'll keep both teams in the same spot, I believe.
On the field, and the idea, as you said, the next play mentality and what has changed. I want to bring in CNN-Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Dr. Gupta, in times like this, Sanjay, when you hear about the progress, so to speak, that's made on the medical front to try to make this game.
Tragedy happens. Now, hopefully he'll pull through. He is in critical condition. He is there at the Cincinnati hospital. But for a young man who's as healthy and vibrant as he is, I hope he's somehow, some way able to overcome this. But, Will, I got to tell you, it tugs at everybody's hearts. We can name sort of the famous ones we've seen on television.
I agree, Andrew. I'm sure they're there.
Neighborhood and all across this country.
Yeah, you say what's going to happen, meaning these tragic accidents that happen in all of our lives. You're absolutely right. You know, I think what happens here, Jason, is these types of moments. Look, we all pour a lot of emotion. I love sports in a way so many of the people you have on the phone love sports. So many people listening love sports. It's because it's something we share together.
Okay, let's put that over here. But it was, I think, really apparent that neither side was going to be able to do this. And you can say we're playing in 5 minutes, but these are grown men who have agency over themselves who say, no, we're not. And I'm just, what I witnessed, it appears to me that both coaches deserve a lot of credit and having their guys' backs and saying that this game isn't going to...
Scott is saying on Sports Center that
compassion and empathy took over. When we talk about
both coaches did the right thing. Took over and said, we're not playing this game.
And you forget that it's more so about blood. And you listen to Lisa talk about the brotherhood between these men, the Joe Burrows and the Josh Allen, the Cincinnati Bengals.
I just want to get an update. I want to hear something like.
It happens a dozen times a year maybe. But if that sort of trauma is delivered to the chest at just the right time, it can essentially put someone into
Now,
a
Dr.
very
Sanjay Gupta is saying there
abnormal
must have been a
heart
chest injury.
subsequently leading to cardiac arrest, where the heart isn't beating or isn't beating efficiently.
Because it's
enough
a
to
cardiac
pump blood to the
arrest
body.
issue.
That may have been what happened here. We're all speculating at this point.
He's
We'll
speculating,
get
though.
some more details later on, but whatever the cause was, the team then assessed that he was in cardiac arrest, and they started doing CPR, which is essentially, this idea that there's enough oxygenated blood in the body for a period of time. The goal is to move that oxygenated blood throughout the body, so you can continue to deliver oxygenated blood to the organs of the body. The other thing that we don't know if they did at the time or subsequently is to try and restart the heart by delivering a shock. That's the defibrillator that you're talking about, Laura. And they have defibrillators. Clearly, they would have a defibrillator on the ambulance. They
I don't know.
typically have defibrillators in large venues of all sorts, including stadiums. We couldn't see when and where that may have been used, but if that was used, that could be something that can be used to sort of restart the heart. But as you mentioned, and I guess Dr. Ryan mentioned.
He was awake though, Ryan. Ryan lost feeling from his waist down.
Precisely.
He's able to walk now though, Ryan.
Before being taken away in the ambulance, but every minute does.
He never needed to go on a defibrillator. He never needed, CPR or anything. He was awake for that whole thing. He just couldn't move. It actually, I can't remember if it was neck down at first, and then later on it was waist to his feet, and then eventually
he did stand up.
he recovered. So
he fell back down. So that makes the idea
my guess,
of brain injury less likely, although not
I'm just gonna give a guess.
ruled out. And obviously a lot of
My guess, something happened with his heart on the hip.
Stick around, Christine, Bob.
It was nothing to do with the head.
You as well. I want to stay on this story. We have more in a moment.
My guess is something with the heart.
Buffalo Bills Cincinnati Bengals game has now been postponed after the Bills' DeMar Hamlin collapsed on the field.
My guess is maybe he had a mild underlying condition that got exuberantly exaggerated.
And then early on, suddenly you have sort of this jaw-dropping intersection of entertainment and the real world. And I think players, I think coaches, certainly everybody watching it has been overwhelmed.
Shazier can walk now, Joseph. I think he could jog now as well.
And as we continue to wait to see what's going to happen for DeMar Hamlin, that's the primary story at this point.
Of course, we're talking about DeMar Hamlin, who is the safety for the.
It wasn't a hard hit. He must have had an undiagnosed heart condition that nobody knew about or found, which.
Over the top in terms of.
They're saying, yeah, that's what the doctor on CNN is saying, that he went into a cardiac arrest event.
Got up, but then collapsed. CPR was administered. He was taken to local hospital. He is in critical condition, according to a statement from the NFL. Well, let's now bring back a Fox News host, Brian Kilmeade, who I believe has some insight. Brian.
So, in looking at this hit, a few people have reached out and contacted me before you guys are now going live and then going to the next hour about what could have happened on a routine hit. It's not a matter of the routine hit; it was where it was hit, and what it looked to be is a shot to the heart.
A shot to the heart.
Looks like a condition called commodio cordis.
Commodio cordis is the condition.
Outside, I think I mentioned earlier in a lacrosse game, the reason why you have defibrillators on every sideline is a kid, a 12, 13-year-old got hit in the chest with a lacrosse ball right when it's in between beats of his heart, and he died. And they said if he could have got a defibrillator, if there was one there, he would have survived. And the reason why we see these defibrillators...
Sorry, I just flashed the camera. I'm sweating.
In most games in parks, and in games like this, and you saw one on the field today, is to bring back the heart if you get shot, if you got to take a shot in the chest from a ball or a helmet or a tackle. And it looks by the way he reacted, the way he took the shot in the chest and stood up, flat straight up, and then fell straight back. It's the key for him, and it's great news. It is great news that he is in critical condition because critical condition means he's still alive. And this is great. Dr. Brian Donahue, the chief cardiologist at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, has done extensive work on this. He just told me it's a rhythm disturbance in the heart.
It's a rhythm disturbance in the heart.
That's indicative of the same thing that they've been studying at the hospital.
And it's actually a good thing that he's in critical condition because it means he's still alive.
Athletes, and this looks to see that he's something that he's seen.
He tried to stand up, yes, Adam, and then went down.
You can get that AED machine, recognizing this is his heart, that it's not spinal. You recognize that you got to take the shirt off. You got to recognize that everything's intact. Once it is, you reach for the pulse. If there's no pulse, you get the defibrillator on the body, on the heart, and the quicker you get it, the better chance of full recovery. And that's why this is so serious, and that's why he thinks it is good news that critical condition, normally not a great thing, as Jim Gray said, but in this case is a good sign.
Well, we can only hope and pray that it is. As you're seeing the video of the players as it happened in that collapse, we don't know definitively what the diagnosis is. We do know that there was CPR administered. We do know that he went to the hospital. The NFL has specifically announced that he is in critical condition. We're talking about Damar Hamlin, the safety for the Buffalo Bills. This doctor and other doctors, I'm sure, watching this type of broadcast can recognize some things.
Jason, I would say Dr. Siegel just texted me. He believes it is. It's the signs are similar, and he backs up what Dr. Donahue just said for UMPC. So you can speculate about what happened. We know it's critical. We know it's serious. We know the best news is this is the biggest, most experienced league with the best resources in the biggest game with the most attention. So this is not a game in which you cut corners on medical things, and you cut corners on ambulances, and you cut corners on equipment and quality.
Fox News thinks this kid has a shot to survive, basically. The doctors and the people that they're talking to right now. What the condition is and what happened.
Yeah, you have doctors, you have paramedics, you have an ambulance literally yards away from the field of the game. The administration of that medical attention, I'm sure, is pivotal. And you're talking about oxygen and those types of things in your heart. Again, we do not have an official conclusive diagnosis. What we do know conclusively from the NFL, at least what they are issuing in terms of a statement, is that Damar Hamlin is in a local hospital. He is in critical condition. The game has been suspended, and we'll further await what the NFL says about the postponement or the replaying of the game or what they're going to do. But we're going to bring now Michelle Tafoya. She's a former sideline reporter for NBC Sports. Michelle, you've been on the sidelines lots of these games. You know how hard.
Michelle Tafoya. Why does that sound familiar?
Some of the best athletes in the world. But it's pretty rare to see something as dramatic as is playing out there in Cincinnati. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the closest I can come, we can recall Pittsburgh Steelers Ryan Shazier.
Talking about Ryan Shazier.
Of course, before we knew, and we still do not know how he is. Hopefully he will be okay. Hopefully.
In the back of my mind, I just don't think they can. But right now, that's a discussion for another time and another place. But,
agreed. Because this is a really, really important game in the scheme of football, and I think we all understand at the moment that football is far secondary to the concerns of the moment. Troy, Joe, as you all said, it's been difficult to put words to this, and you guys did as best as you could for the amount of time that was from the moment that he went down until where we are now, and I appreciate your time and your perspective, guys. Thank you so much.
Of course, Scott, thank you. You just hope and pray for him, and when you're going through that, you hope you put the right words to it, and we all we were in shock, and you could see shock all over the faces of those players, and just...
Oh, man, this is bad.
Indeed, well said. Troy, Joe, we'll talk again sometime soon, hopefully Saturday night. All right, we'll see some of the social media reaction.
Ryan Shazier tweeted, prayers for Hamlin, hope everything is okay.
Ryan Shazier as well, prayers for Hamlin, hope everything is okay. As we know, it's at the moment it's not. He's in critical condition.
Pat Narduzzi, didn't he have an episode on something happened to him on the sideline?
And Coley, as I said when we came on, we deal with what we know.
Coley Harvey outside of the hospital. Let's see what he says.
Eastern time. What do we know?
Well,
there is not much that we do know other than the fact that, as the NFL just released moments ago in a statement,
We have no other update to report.
is in critical condition inside the hospital behind me. What I can tell you is that I'm about a block away from the emergency room where he was transported about an hour or so ago to this location. We're starting to actually see fans who were at the ball game who've made their way.
There's
over
fans starting to gather outside the hospital.
Who said, "Hey, we had to show up because this is bigger than football at this point. We're praying for him, and we have to show that respect to the humanity of someone, not just to the game of football itself." What we can also tell you is that after the game at Paycor Stadium, neither team spoke. There were no press conferences. The teams showing that level of deference. At this
Yeah, it's on
point.
ESPN right now.
Again,
If you're
there's so
watching
much speculation
or looking to
going on
find it,
social media at this point. There are
Joseph.
confirmed reports of what is indeed happening and what indeed happened on the field. I can tell you what I saw from the press box was type of care, whether it was CPR, is what it appeared to me at that time. I can also tell you we saw the ambulance come onto the field and the players from both teams taking that knee in solidarity, as their thoughts are certainly with DeMar Hamlin. And I will also add that we will be going down in moments to hear from media relations
that's sad,
from the
Adam.
hospital. They will be talking to reporters, so hopefully we'll have a little bit of an update here.
I don't know, bro.
All right, Coley, and just one last thing, just to make sure that our timeline is as clear as it can be. 9:25 Eastern time was what I believe I had as the information for the time that he was transported by ambulance to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Does that check out?
That checks out, and I will add that the University of Cincinnati Medical Center actually lived in Cincinnati myself several years ago. Covered this team, the Cincinnati Bengals, for several years, so I was very familiar. This is 2 miles away from Paycor Stadium, so a very quick transport, which is obviously important in this particular moment of life. Potential critical care that's being administered to DeMar Hamlin. So, yes, that's the timeline that checks out from what I can tell you tonight.
Coley Harvey in Cincinnati with the latest, and we will be keeping our eyes and ears out for anything that you can share as you're able. Coley, I appreciate your time this evening. Thank you.
Man.
Once again, recapping this evening that began with such a sense of anticipation for this football game. DeMar Hamlin tackled T. Higgins as Cincinnati had a 7-3 lead. It was the second time that they had the football. The game began as you might have expected, with these two excellent teams, both up and down the field, and then in a
No other update. No other update.
As Hamlin stood to his feet after tackling T. Higgins, and then very quickly the situation became rather grim and dire as the medical personnel were tending to him in a manner consistent with someone who was in need of their care in order to be resuscitated. You see the ambulance leaving the field there, and again, just the timeline, this is really neither here nor there, but it was just in real time. It appeared that the game was going to be suspended for a period of a couple of minutes, and then the players were going to play again. And then I think both teams and coaches said, no, we're not, and they didn't. And we have a live look there at the stadium. That's where the Bills buses are, and was reported. Lisa Salters, also social media, I noticed as well.
It looks like the Bills buses there are still at the stadium.
There, they mentioned that the Bengals captains, Burrow, Karras, Reeder, I believe in uniform, went from their locker room to the Bills locker room. And Ryan Clark, who is back again, it just speaks to this brotherhood. And the football piece of this is secondary.
Man.
Just mentioned that, I don't know when they get this in.
Bunch of team captains, I think, are
I don't know either.
right at the hospital in
What matters tonight is the life.
their pads and uniforms still.
Understand that. That's most important. He's in critical condition. At some point, this game is significant as it relates to the big picture of both these teams, because at some point football will be played again.
All right, well, it looks like we're not going to be getting any more updates.
Particularly when this young man's health is.
I will.
He's in critical condition.
I just took NyQuil for my cold, so I'm probably just going to get out of here.
You are hardened in this game.
I think.
You become so desensitized to injuries. My freshman year at LSU, a guy goes down, tears his ACL.
Is that what they did?
Jerry Donato at the time is the head coach, and I'm used to high school and everything stopping whenever someone got hurt. And Jerry Donato said, "Move." He says, "Move the ball." And we moved the ball 15 yards, and the athletic training staff is still tending to my teammate who just tore his ACL, and we started the next play. This happens in this game all the time. We've seen hits that look like car crashes, and we cart guys off, or guys go into the tent, and then the next snap.
No other update, huh?
This young man. We have watched something happen on the field. Damar Hamlin collapsed.
I am not streaming tomorrow, just so you guys know. I don't think this game is going to be,
Presently hospitalized.
unless this game is restarted tomorrow, which I don't think it will be. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I was going to try to stream basketball on Wednesday, so if you're looking for when my next stream would be, it would probably be Wednesday for b-ball, and maybe Thursday as well.
We're going to bring you everything we have. We've got much more to come on our breaking news.
No other update on CNN. No other update on Fox News.
The Buffalo Bills.
Maybe be useful to a place like that.
Vote. When vote is
I don't have any other updates on ESPN.
We firmly believe the NBA went.
I don't think we're going to get anything
There aren't many jobs
within the next
that
hour or
we
two.
don't consider like that, right? Like, we
I'll
understand
keep my
the
prayers up.
salaries and what they give for us, and what they do, and the risk that they accept and they take, and that's why we praise them so highly. But when we put these pads on, all we think about is the millions of dollars. All we think about is the accolades. All we think about is the applause.
Entertain us, right? I mean, that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to go out there and entertain us in the fantasy football, and that's all.
So most likely look for me on Wednesday, Thursday.
But your point's well taken.
And then obviously I'll be streaming Saturday. There's some football games this Saturday, and then obviously on Sunday.
I don't know. That's the part tonight that was so evident that 5 minutes. We're not playing football. Okay, no one's playing football in 5 minutes or 30 minutes. Not tonight. But
I don't know, Adam. I don't think we're gonna get an update in 20 minutes from now.
Tomorrow? I mean, I have no idea. And I mean, frankly, again, as we speak right now with this young man in critical condition, I don't care. I don't care.
I think I'm gonna call it though. I think I'm gonna go lay down
In truth,
with my better half.
if the NFL cares about the players, this is the first time I believe the NFL truly had to care about the players' emotional and mental health as well.
Unknown Girl, Adam, Andrew, Hugo, Jake, David,
We have to watch that type of
Charles. I'm
process,
trying to remember
right,
everybody
in
that
real
was
time,
here.
Right, we never get to see that because it had to happen.
Eliza.
It had to happen in real time. Like, and even
Everybody that was here, thank you kindly. But they're just reiterating everything they said, like, you know,
everything. If it was a type of
100 times already. We don't have any other updates, so
fixed it, and he's cool. He's good. He's on the hospital. On his way to the hospital.
I think we'll just call it. I'll go to bed and let's hope we wake up tomorrow and.
Are you cool to go back out and no?
Scott, you know why? Because that news doesn't let me see my friend. Right? That news doesn't let me touch my homeboy. That news doesn't let me.
Hopefully we wake up and we get good news tomorrow.
Yeah, he's okay.
We have information now? What is it, Andrew?
If I don't get that news, what they will realize it.
Did you see something on Twitter?
Delicious break.
Anomaly, and this is what is so much different here in this instance, and for the game to be called off. And you know, look, people are talking about criticism and so forth, and if you look online, you know, they're only as good as the information
Amy Russo.
they have. All right, a lot of times.
Who's Amy Russo? What'd they say?
CPR on the field, but a lot of times, you know that somebody that's been taken off is just.
Guess what, guys? Damar's breathing on his own. So freaking what? That doesn't change what we just saw. And to watch a man truly go lifeless, though, Scott, right? That's something like we've seen people knocked out. We've seen bad hits. We saw the Tua. We remember how we reacted to the Tua situation that happened right on the same field. This was even different from that. I know the NFL is a big business. And the NFL has to continue doing business, and the NFL has to continue entertaining. But if the NFL doesn't send somebody into these locker rooms, if the NFL isn't flying people to Cincinnati
So
right
maybe
now,
they'll
or
give
to
an
Buffalo,
update.
or wherever they're going right now, they are missing the point. The point is, make sure
hive on my
men are
forehead.
all right, and then you can play football. So what I'm gonna tell you is, if you put them out there tomorrow, you're gonna get a trash game anyway, because you've said it 20 times tonight. What's important is Damar Hamlin.
Wow, these are special. These folks are special people. And, you know, physical fitness that they have to have to be able to do this is beyond anybody's really wildest imagination. I mean, a lot of people walk, and, you know, a lot of our viewers are into physical fitness, but it's nothing like this. Nothing compared.
Yeah.
So the good news is that this is a very fit. Hamlin is a very, very fit guy. You're not in the National Football League.
Here at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center Hospital, I saw the ambulance leaving the facility at Paycor.
Ben Baby, ESPN Bengals reporter outside the hospital.
The emergency that we saw
Let's see.
was different than what you see from the Tua Tagovailoa situation earlier in Week 4 that did happen on the same field. We saw folks in number 3 jerseys following the tunnel, going up the tunnel, going to the ambulance. I was actually inside the emergency room briefly before it was closed to visitors. And whether it be patients, whether it be guests, whether it be hospital officials and those working tonight, you got the sense that this was just something that nobody has dealt with before. And there was everybody who was in the vicinity of that emergency room just wanted to know what was going on. As I made my way out of the stadium into the parking garage and made my way here, you had fans asking whether Damar Hamlin was okay. You got the sense there was everybody right now that is in Cincinnati that is knowing what's going on. You got the sense they want to know what is going on with Damar Hamlin. And so far, like I said earlier, we know that he is in critical condition, and we are currently waiting for more information from hospital officials about his condition.
Ben, I'll give you a chance to reconfigure this so you can hear my question. If you were the one that had the timeline that the ambulance left at 9:25, I don't know that if we're able to witness the situation beforehand and what type of care was being provided at the time that happened. If you didn't witness it, you'll forgive my ignorance. I simply just don't know the answer to the question.
Yeah, so what we saw was when the game was stopped, the medics, they took an extended amount of time after the ambulance was on the field to give Damar Hamlin treatment. They did not immediately load him into the ambulance. They spent several minutes working with him on the field. Eventually, it appears that they gave him oxygen as he was loaded into the ambulance. And one thing that does stick out is the reaction from the players. I saw Kaiir Elam, the Bills, rookie cornerback. He had his back to Damar Hamlin. The players had a shield around him. The Bills players did, almost like a U. And Kaiir was looking over his shoulder to his right with the staffer, his hand on Kair's shoulder, looking back. You saw players walking to the far end of the field, just not wanting to be around him. You saw T. Higgins, the Bengals player.
Oh, Adam gave us an update.
He was on the other sideline, hands over his head.
Vitals are back to normal, and they put him to sleep to put a breathing tube down his throat. They're currently running tests, blah, blah, blah. His vitals are back to normal, what they mean. All right, I hope that's correct, Adam.
There was a sense of urgency, like I said, that we typically
So that's some good news.
even with these type of injuries that do appear to be serious.
Ben Baby in Cincinnati from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. I appreciate your update and the information. We will keep our eyes and ears out for anything else you can share, Ben. Thank you. Damar Hamlin in critical condition at the hospital this hour after making a tackle just before 9 o'clock Eastern time in the Bills game against Cincinnati. The significance of the game was understood. It was as big a game as there was certainly this weekend. All of the implications to the playoff picture moving forward, and it all stops at 9 o'clock, and those concerns are secondary.
Well, hopefully that was a correct update.
and you talked so much about
that his vitals are back to normal.
From my couch personally, and to see the players, to see their reaction, the guys that are right there on the field, it was heartbreaking.
And all the people that care about him in that greater Buffalo Bills family, it's a devastating night. And I think it's a hard night for the greater NFL family, certainly the Cincinnati Bengals. But, you know, thoughts and prayers. It's been about 35, 40 minutes now since we've heard from the NFL. It'd be nice to get an update. But last we heard, he's in critical condition after collapsing, having CPR administered, and some medical.
Right. My thoughts are
All right. Well, we'll end it on that, I guess. And I'll see you guys later on in the week.
None of those men are emotionally
Probably Wednesday.
to handle this.
And I couldn't look at Steph crying. I know Stephon from the Maryland guy.
It's going to be at 11, the update? What time is it now?
And you see that guy in tears, and it's like, I'm an emotional guy to begin with. I see that, and I think by proxy, we understand, because we're human beings, man. And look,
You
think
said
we do have such
the hospital update's going to be in 9 minutes.
and this game was so big, and we were going to have
All right, well,
blast.
I gotta
We were
take a
gonna do
piss
touchdown
first, so I'll be right back.
Nonsense jokes. We're going to do our bit. And now I'm sitting here looking at you, so I just want to hug you, man. It's like, this night and what it is that has happened is just so foreign, all of it.
Yeah, and I think in how quickly it happened. The play with T. Higgins looked like a routine football play. We've seen that play a million times. And even when he's on the ground, my first thought was, okay, what happened to him? What's the injury? Is it a stinger? Did something happen to his face?
I wondered, did he take a helmet to the chin in real time? And then when I saw that wasn't it.
Yeah, and the scariest part is when they show the replay and I realized he actually got up. Because then I thought to myself, well, this isn't anything external. And once we get out of that realm, I get nervous because we aren't equipped to handle that. When I can see it, when I can feel it, when I can understand it, when you can explain it to me, then I get it. But when you can't talk, and I'm not a medical genius, but when I hear CPR, I do know we aren't giving CPR to people who can breathe on their own. And to equate that to a football game, to compare that to a football play, to look at that as happening in a football game, that's not what it's supposed to be. That's not what we were prepared to talk about. And in not being prepared to talk about that, no one who's living through what the Hamlin family is living through, what the Buffalo Bills family is living through, what the Cincinnati Bengals are living through, planned on living through that tonight. And you have to live through that extremely publicly. And so now we are trying to make sense of something that makes no sense. And that's an impossibility for us. But imagine being in the raw emotion of that and knowing, just as we're talking about being prepared to reschedule this game, knowing that someone right now is sitting in the office that has no ties to Damar Hamlin, that his life will go on the same exact way if Damar Hamlin doesn't walk out of that hospital, is deciding the fate of what you do the rest of the week.
See, I don't think that happened tonight, though. I don't, because I think it seems to me that this was, someone got hurt. This is heavy. We're going to give you 5 minutes. You get loose and we're going to play. And then what happened is Taylor and McDermott and their team said, no, we're not. That's what it appears to me.
I believe they care 100%.
Well, I'm just saying that the league can say whatever it wants to say about who to play football tonight.
I got you.
And a group of men locked arms on different sides of a sideline and said, no, we're not. And it was, I think that obviously the correct decision was made because the content became clear, I would think, to anyone that this game could not be played right now. I don't know when.
I think there were, when you look at Stephon Diggs, who was visibly moved by what was going on, I think even in his mind, he thought to himself, there's no way they don't allow this game to finish. Right? I think he even believed that because of the magnitude of the game, and I think that's why he was trying to get his teammates back into the frame of mind to play, because he thought to himself, I know what's going on, but we have to go play. And even when they turned back around, the emotion of what their friend was going through took over again. They couldn't even get back into football. Sean McDermott couldn't get back into coaching football, understanding that men that he has been handpicked to guide and to lead, that one of those men is fighting for his life. And it's the same thing on the other side with the Cincinnati Bengals. They are dealing with that as well. They are watching this happen in real time. And the small little selfish pieces of us are also what makes us empathetic. It's also what makes us compassionate. That everyone that had on a pair of shoulder pads tonight finally looked at him and said to themselves, that could be me. That could be my best friend. That could be my closest teammate. We are all in this. And in all being in this, we all feel this. And in feeling this, we had to make a decision. And I'm so glad that these guys didn't have to go back out on this field tonight and try to play a damn game.
Again, this is about DeMar Hamlin, and you've said as much, but there are very few people that have the perspective of having risked what you risked to play this game. And I'm just
All right.
perspective that
I was
you
washing my
found
face.
Mike Thomas said, no, you're not playing, because you had to be almost protected from
Oh, the news they have, Adam already said.
When you see this and you live through this, what was it that allowed you to say,
Frank,
"I
see you
want to do
later."
that again, and then, by the way, did it for many, many years very, very well?
Because this is other than my kids, it's the first thing I ever loved the first time I touched it. The first time somebody gave me a football.
Yeah, I think we have all the updates we're going to get, boys.
This is not with any knowledge as to what's happening now in Cincinnati, but it very well may be that what happened tragically to this young man is commotio cordis.
Now, Doctor, I mean, these, if you play safety in the NFL, you're involved and engaged in hits all the time. This one didn't appear to be particularly violent. It was, by all accounts, a legal hit. It wasn't unnecessary targeting. This is, as you pointed out, and anybody, it's just obvious that if you play safety in the NFL, you're a very fit human being. So it's just hitting that one spot at just the wrong time that brings this on. And again,
I don't think we're going to get anything else.
This is what happened to DeMar Hamlin.
Sorry we didn't get, do sports play by play. It happens.
You already shared so much of your time and your perspective. If you could stay with us and we'll continue to
Yeah, I'm tired anyway. The NyQuil's kicking in. And everything has just been repeated a bunch of times. So I think we can end for real here. And I'll see you guys on the next stream, which will probably be Wednesday night. Whenever this game is scheduled and official, I'll continue on with it. Hopefully we get good news.
To the hospital at 25 and officially
just keep praying for the kid, and I'm gonna go to bed. I'll see you next time, boys and girls.
Determination about what will happen with this game. It was a 7-3 game at the time. Cincinnati leading.
Fucking phone sucks.
Happened, and the reaction of the players in the field